Test. 1, 2, 3. While editing the last one of these videos, I realized that while editing the videos, there was loads and loads of clicking attendant upon almost every word I said. If this video too is full of clicks, I'm just going to have to reconceptualize the clicks as a sort of unique selling point. Come here to No Struggle, where it clicks. Are social constructs a social construct? I think I might have to go to results page 8 for this one. To say that an identity is socially constructed is to deny that it has the objective reality ascribed to it. I think this question may be a bit too vague. Is the social construction of social constructs a social construct? We're getting very similar results here, pretty much identical. It seems to have mistaken the question, is the social construction of social constructs a social construct, with the question, what are social constructs? Page 10, page 14, page 17, page 16. Outline transition plan for the building's safety bill. I am so glad that I do not have to read this for a living or write it. Building safety regulatory compliance is Cthulhu. Rigorous assessment of regulatory requirements. Every blood cell howls in horror. Dame Judith Hackett. This seems to be something to do with that tower block that caught fire. Maybe building safety regulation is actually God's work. Building unsafety regulation, a sort of career where with similar amounts of bureaucracy and barbaric assault conducted on the English language, but whose end goal was to build really rickety, easily destroyed buildings, would be a less noble career. Something really depressing, I find, about how marketed government policy is. How every government policy has a sort of catchy jingle. I find that really disturbing. Check, change, go. Do you remember this? There was a health advert I remember from my childhood. It was a counter-flu regulatory measure where the slogan that the government went with was catch it, bin it, kill it. Sneeze into a handkerchief and put the handkerchief in the bin. Kill it. I was in the bookshop earlier today and there was an announcement. It was, valued customers, cover your face and keep away from other people. VAT rates, vehicle tax rates. It's really clean but really dull. Extremely dull information. Right, is the social construction of social constructs a social construct? Is the question as to whether the social construction of social constructs are a social construct a social construct? Again, Wikipedia page for social constructionism. How more specific do I need to be? Is the question as to whether the social construction of social constructs are a social construct, a social construct? Reality as a social construct. If a student has a high GPA, they might be given accolades, such as a plane. Oh, a place. Thought it was an aeroplane. An aeroplane will be delivered to their house, fresh for flying. Social problems and social issues. I wonder what the difference between social problems and social issues is. The key word here is and. That's the social construct, keeping the actually very fluid categories of social problems and social issues starkly segregated. And is a fascinating word. I really would love to have been there the first time someone used and. Apple, pear, apple, and pair, that which underlies and produces social reality is an assemblage of. Sometimes I wonder whether Google puts the ellipse in the place that maximizes comic potential. The problem with talking about a reality that exists beyond language is that as soon as Yes! Yes! Even if there was some ultimate or fixed reality behind discourse and social, that ellipse is less funny. In this paper, I discuss the question of what it means to say that a property is socially constructed. I focus on an influential project that many social... There's an actual full stop there. It doesn't end with an ellipse, so we must assume that E. Diaz Leon just finished the sentence there. Sentence structure is a social construct. A social construction of illness. All illnesses are socially constructed at the experimental level. That's amazing. What a thought. I'm not sure I believe that illnesses are socially constructed. The social construction of illness is a major research perspective in medical sociology. This article traces the roots of this perspective and presents three overarching constructionist findings. First, some illnesses are particularly embedded with cultural meaning which is not directly derived from the nature of the condition, that shapes how society responds to those afflicted and influences the experience of that illness. This is feeling tamer and tamer with every sentence. I was hoping for some crazy mad paper that thought that illness and all disease was some big capitalist lie. A message I'm ready for. I'm your target market. Medical knowledge about illness and disease is not necessarily given by nature, but is constructed and developed by claims makers and interested parties. It's getting into boring, objective, measurable statements now. You cowards. Let's go to a similar article, naming and framing the social construction of diagnosis and illness. This one by P. Brown, P. Phyllis, Plato, Poff. This paper examines the social construction of diagnosis and illness in several ways. First, I discuss the centrality of social construction in medical sociology. Next, I discuss the major role of diagnosis and the need for sociology to diagnosis. I feel sociology is really letting the humanities down. We need more crazy, screaming weirdos. That all sounded legit. I know there's probably something completely mental underneath this academic written English, but I cannot find it. Is nature a social construct? This is what I'm talking about. You're not stopping at some concept like society or family or money. You're going for the big boy. You're going for the entire universe is a social construct. This is what I like to see. You're doing good work, Holmes Rolston III. Surely not. Surely they're not called Holmes Rolston III. Surely they just hammered the caps lock letter I in a sort of spasm of enlightenment. 6 words are especially significant in our worldview. 6. Why not 912? Why not Holmes Rolston III? Nature, environment, wilderness, science, earth, and value. I feel he's missing out several words that are extremely significant in my worldview. Tuesday, concrete, pencil sharpener, chocolate, car park, glass, of, water, butter, muesli. But how far are these words for real? Only a man as brave as Holmes Rolston III would place that question in the second sentence. I'd wait a bit, you know? When I do my sort of completely fatuous academic work, I leave my craziest claims in like the 4th paragraph. Have they extensions to which their intentions have they extensions to which their intentions successfully refer? Have they extensions to which their intentions successfully refer? You there, boy. Have you extensions to which your intentions successfully refer? Yeah, I thought the bolognese that you made for me and my wife was tasty. But if I had to point out one flaw with it, it was that it had extensions to which its intentions did not successfully refer. I was this close to joining the Nazi party, but before I handed in my ticket, I asked myself the question, have they extensions to which their intentions successfully refer? And the answer was obviously no. Rather like nature, I thought to myself. Rather like environment, wilderness, science, earth, and value. Extensions to which their intentions successfully refer, I asked myself. Have they them? Have they those properties? is. No, I screamed. The world. I love the world in quotes. Look, it's the opening of a quote, and the world itself is also in quotes. The so-called world. The world is variously constituted by diverse cultures, as we are lately reminded, and there is much doubt about what, if anything, is privileged about the prevailing Western concepts. These Easterners don't ever think about nature, environment, wilderness, science, earth, or value. All Western. You go to like China looking for any environment, nothing will be found. Earth. Is Earth a Western concept? What are they doing in the non-West? I've not been in there lately. Do they just float? There is no Earth here. We have no need for that concept here in the non-West. We just sort of drift. All words have been made up historically by people. More radically, all human knowing colours whatever people see through our percepts and concepts. No degree of human ingenuity or cunning will ever make that sentence mean anything. Trees are not really green after we have learned about electromagnetic radiation and the optics of our eyes, so we all view the world that way. Indeed, rather, moreover, therefore, more to the point, I feel he could have started the article with the word however. I don't wanna come down hard on Holmes Rolston III, you know? I have no bone to pick with Holmes Rolston III. I think if I and Holmes Rolston III sat down to a big trough of gravy, we'd have a lovely afternoon. Humans know nature through socially constructed science. Nature per se does not exist. Nature is only the name given to a certain contemporary state of science. Science exists, no doubt, but science knows nature conditionally. Perhaps anomaly. Science is interaction activity between humans and nature out there. We know only through the lenses, theories, and equipment that we humans constructed. Yeah, you know, like, these are the sorts of sentences that when me and Holmes Rolston are tucking into our big tub of liquid, we will bond over. I can bond with Holmes Rolston III over whatever he just said then. This isn't the end of all things. There is probably something somewhere in some of this that might mean anything, which is the maximum that can be ascribed to any humanities professor. Wilderness is a foil we have constituted in contrast to late 20th century Western technological culture. I disagree. Stuff that isn't towns. It's as old as towns. There's all sorts of old wildernesses. Why am I arguing with you, Holmes Rolston III? To be Holmes Rolston III brings you to a certain level, and to read Holmes Rolston III angrily puts you even lower. Philosophy is always philosophy of X, and if the object of X is nature, we know philosophers haven't done maths for hundreds of years. God, love a bit of maths right now. Nature is a grand word. The root lies in the Latin natus or gnatus, being born or produced, emergent, growing. I think if you were to try to come up with a non-Western pan-world conception of nature among humanistic folk, not among electron looker-atters, then I think that's the property to plug into. I feel like the outside of my body is unnatural and the inside of my body is extremely natural. Nature is whatever has been generated and comes to be. Yeah, stick it to them, Holmes Rolston III. Whatever is natural. I think that's the root of my fear of anti-nature, or nature as a social construct, or whatever nature is, it is inherently wicked and bound up with a wicked civilization. There's something about me that reacts against that, because I like existence. I'm a pro-existence man, and I find the idea that existence has been fundamentally compromised by our current very small corner of existence absurd and loathsome. I want to hold on to existence extremely hard. If anything is worth holding on to with all the fervour and extremity befitting a loon, it is existence. To be! Nature has to be abstracted out of this blooming, buzzing confusion confusion of myriads of encounters with whatever is actually out there, which nobody fully absolutely knows. I don't think nature has to be abstracted out of these blooming, buzzing confusions of myriads of encounters. I think, if anything, it has to be even more deeply plunged into this abstraction of blooming, buzzing confusions of myriads of encounters. I think if there's one thing I can stand here today and proudly raise my big flag in favor of, it is blooming, buzzing confusions of myriads of encounters. Nature is not so much anything out there as a category we've invented in which to put things. No! Never! Look, I'm a man with either the soul of a footballer and the brain of an academic, or the soul of an academic and the brain of a footballer. Some sort of football man, academic man, hideous, homunculus. I need to cheer. We need more cheering in the philosophy of the environment published by the University of Edinburgh Press in 1997. I think that'll do for today. I got some really important words out of my mouth. Thank you so much for watching. I love and adore you.